So before going to start the session, any questions, any doubts from anyone?
No.
Okay. So before going to start the session, one tip for you guys, it's a kind of, if you like already write the exam and you get the certification, or if you are going to write a exam and 1 year only valid, okay, 1 year only valid that certification. After 1 year, again we need to write the exam. Uh, write the exam means yes, we need to write the exam and again get the certification same. Like suppose now AG 104 Azure Administrator Associate. Once is the 1 year completed, before 1 year, 180 days before you will get the like this mail. Action required. Your Azure certification will expire in 180 days. Okay, you will get like this, and this is a one kind of Microsoft freely providing the renewal our certification renewal renew our certification freely. So you need to click on renew your certification. You can able to log in at what previously when you are writing the exam first time, which email id and password you used it, same mail id and password you need to use it, and click on that one. Once is a login that one, and below you can see here, take the renewal assessment. This is a online, it's a free and 45 minutes of exam. Okay, so here around 60% or 55% if you get the score and you are certified, again 1 more year, uh, like um, kind of one more year you will get this certification. 1 more year, like that every year you will get like this 180 days before, and you can attempt the exam. And how many times is a 5 times. Again, it's a 5 times they will give the chance to you here. Okay, so totally renewal the assessment. They are providing 180 days before, and it's you can take it at once you given the exam. If you fail again, you have to wait 24 to 40 24 hours between. You have to wait 24 hours. Again you can try to attempt it and get the if you get the pass score, and again 1 more year renewal this certification. So you can see my solution architect expert certificate, it's going to retire on the June 2 and 2023. June 2 2023 it's going to retire it, and now expiry in the 179 days. Yesterday only I got the mail. Okay, take the renewal the assessment, I can give it, and if it is a once I passed it, again 1 more year it's valid this certificate. Okay, so this is a way like nowadays is a 1 year only, no worries. And again, they are providing like this way. Every year you need to assessment you have to give it, so that it's a testing your knowledge, or are you upgrading on that particular related, because of sometimes they are adding new concepts and everything. That's the reason they are every year renewal the things. Okay, is any certification that is a Microsoft certification, anything, and same like they are providing, guys. Hopefully you got it what I'm saying.
Is this something started recently?
Around 1 year back they started.
Okay.
Previously it's not available, and recently 1 year back only they started. And every year they are changing and retake the certification. You need to get the new certification, again invest the amount. Instead of that one, they are providing like this way. Okay,
Okay, it's a free of cost, but
yes,
you
free
need
of
to
cost
pass
only.
the exam.
Exactly. No need to pay single rupee also. And from your computer, you can give the your exam at 5 times. Again, that is a 5 times. Okay. Got it, everyone?
Definitely.
Yeah. And one more thing, generally, if you are working in the MNC company and your company is a kind of partnership with the Microsoft, means there is a portal called esi.microsoft.com. This is a portal, and this is a like you need to log in with your company credentials, like your a company email ID and password. Once you log in your company email ID and password, and you can able to give like practice tests is available, and so many different materials and online sessions from the Microsoft, and everything is available. Okay, there is a one more for practicing the exam purpose. So many things are there here. Okay, this is a called esi.microsoft.com, and you need to log in with your company credentials, not your personal credentials. Okay, this is a one more generally, you can refer, and it's a very helpful to you guys, and that is a one more thing. And another thing is each and every exam related, suppose AG104 GitHub, if you mention, and that related, it's a GitHub, it's they are providing the instruction labs, lab related step by step document is a maintained here. So you can see custom role definition. So here, if you go to this one, and it's a JSON templates they given totally, but here, 1 minute, instructions. If you go to the instructions lab and click on this one, lab, manage Azure identity, Azure Active Directory identities. So that related everything step by step they given, step by step they given. So not only this course, any course, like if you go to any course like AG 305, AG 500, AG 400, like that, all the courses related, you can able to find like this way GitHub repository, and that relevant exam related, all the practicals, what Microsoft given the practicals, that practicals, everything step by step document, everything is documented here, everything documented here, and anytime you can refer, and you can try to practice it that way also. Okay, so like it's a kind of, if you stuck somewhere and you don't know how to do it, and step by step document they given. So like it's a very helpful guys, and you can try to check it, and you will get the more idea, like not only that one. So let me show you, suppose AG305 solution architect, this is a one GitHub repository. If it is a click on that GitHub repository, same like here, you can say instructions, case study, and that related. If you click on that case studies, you can see governance related case study, what is a design, governance and solution. So cost and accounting, new deployment project, how is the thing, how to propose it, what are the task is going to. So this is a requirement, it's a scenario wise they given, scenario wise they given. So same like compute related also, some compute related requirement, what is this requirement, and need to understand, and task is a how you are going to implement it as per this one. So requirement also, you can able to understand what exactly requirement and how to provide the solution. You can able to like get the some idea, case studies you will get it from this place, if it is a solution architect. Got it what I'm saying?
Yes.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
So like this way, so much material over the online is available, but everyone required the guidance, especially. Okay, right now what I'm doing here also I'm doing here guidance, more guidance I'm providing here. Okay, so more thing here, you need to practice it. Everyone should practice, and you will get the more idea. But more than exam point of view and real time point of view, interview point of view, everything I'm already explaining, guys. Already I'm explaining, but just as a other materials also, what are the things is available and over the internet, and already I shown you here. It's a few of the things I shown you here, and you can see not only these things is not a limited, and so many other things also there, but it's a very very valuable information. Such information is over the internet is available. Okay, so that's it. It's just I want to give the information, and let me jump into the uh, last week we are discussing about site to site and point to site. Now I'm going to show you the practical about point to site. Yes. We have to see the practical about point to site.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's wait for here, and you can see it's almost the 40 minutes before I try to deploy it, and it's still it's deployment in progress. Once it's hopefully next 1 or 2 minutes is going to complete this deployment in progress. Once it's a deployment completed, I will get the virtual network gateway. Using that, I'm going to show you point to site how to configure this one. Okay, so coming to before that, it's a generally point to site. Once is a Azure platform completed in our laptop, what should we do? So we need to install that VPN client application. Yes, is it right, guys? In your laptop also, your company, your office laptop, if you see how to connect the VPN, some application you will open and try to connect it, and it will ask the user ID and password so that you can able to connect it. Yes. Same like Azure platform, we are set up the Azure Virtual Network Gateway, that point to site VPN, we are going to configure it. But from the individual laptops or computers from that, if you want to connect this Azure VPN, point to site VPN means we need to install some application, client application, we need to install it. Yes, is it right? So
Yes.
that application, it's available under Microsoft Store. That is a called Azure VPN client. Just is a we are going to install in our laptop for testing purpose. Once is a point to site configuration completed. So how to test it? So Azure VPN client, Azure VPN client. So here you can see like that you can search in your personal laptop. If you try to do it in your office laptop, it won't work, guys. Because of office laptop, they already blocked the Microsoft Store. Why? Because of if you allow the Microsoft Store, you can install any application. That is as per security, as per company policy, is a violation. That's the reason they won't allow you to install the Azure VPN client. One thing. And one more thing, your personal laptop must and should use the operating system, not home edition. If you are home edition, please upgrade yourself. That at least is a professional or something. It's a enterprise editions. You should use it. Otherwise, this VPN client or RDB related home edition, it won't support it. Home edition, it won't support it. That's the reason I'm saying that. And please use the some pro edition so that you won't face the any problem. Okay, so here Azure VPN client, you can able to see it here, and generally already installed in my desktop. That's the reason it's showing open. Normally Android apps also it will show you install like get or something like that. Generally it will show you get, and you need to click on that one. Automatically this application is going to install in your laptop or desktop. It's going to install it. Once is the installation completed, and go to the your desktop or laptop, and you can search Azure VPN client. You can see here Azure VPN client, you can able to open like that. It will open, guys, like that it will open. Okay, so once is a like go to Azure platform, we'll first of all try to configure the this virtual network gateway, and that configuration file we need to download it. After that, this Azure VPN client we can able to configure and test it, it's working or not. Okay, let's wait for a few seconds. So here still it's a deployment in progress. And one more thing is in this virtual network, and already I mentioned one dedicated subnet is required. That is a gateway subnet. It's already there for testing purpose. At least one virtual machine with the private IP address. After connecting the point to site with the private, site point to site VPN, and this virtual machine can able to access from our desktop without public address. Can we able to access or not for testing purpose? Right away I'm going to create one virtual machine. Okay, in between time I'm going to create a one virtual machine. Just it's a validating it's a really point to site working or not. For testing purpose, this virtual machine in Azure platform I'm deploying. Okay, so VM01, And this is like virtual network in which you region I used it, East US2. Okay, so I need to deploy. So VM01 and East US2. No infrastructure remaining same here. Basic VM size and providing the username and password. Okay, keep it none. Disk networking. I don't want public IP address. Keep it none. Okay, and next. Here previous. It's a disable this one. Review and created. Let's wait for a few seconds here and yes, click on create. Okay, click on home. So now two things is a deploying. Oh my God, this is a still it's a deployment in progress 44 minutes ago. Okay, it's a completed now. Virtual network gateway is a ready, guys. You can see virtual network gateway is a ready. Let's go to the virtual network gateway. Uh, Guys, please carefully listen and how I'm configuring. Okay, so point to site. So here point to site VPN and it's a configuration under settings. Go to point to site configuration and configure now. And here address pool, what IP address range we should provide it. Right now, my VNet address range is a 10.0.0.0/16 I'm using. And this address pool should not be overlap this IP address. Should not be overlap this IP address, guys. We should provide the very different range of IP address range. We should provide it. What is this address pool exactly means? What I'm going to provide this address pool whenever from individual laptops connecting this point to site VPN. That VPN will allocate the one IP address for your laptop. For VPN connection wise, it will allocate the one private IP address for our laptop or desktop. That IP address pool we are providing here. That IP address pool we are providing here. So that IP address range depends on your requirement. That /24/16 or /28 or whatever it may be, you can give it. Why? Because of number of user connection depends on that address pool range we should provide it. Number of users depends on that you can provide the address pool range. Suppose if I'm going to provide 172.16.0.0 and /16 if I provided, so 65,536 IP address will get it. But those many users, this virtual network gateway, it won't support it. Maximum 10,000 connections only it supported. That much range it's not required. So right now this is a lab. So I can go with the 24. So that what will happen? 255 users at a time they can able to connect it. 255 users to 255 laptops at a time is a connect to the point to site. Okay, got it what I'm saying? And here tunnel type we already discussed. There are three types of tunnel and open VPN, SSTP and IKE version 2. So here including IKE version 2 and open VPN SSL, IKE version 2 and SSTP SSL. These many tunnels is available. Suppose if I'm going to select the open VPN it support the Azure certificate, radius authentication, Azure Active Directory. But reverse, if you check it, only Azure Active Directory only support the OpenVPN SSL only. Azure Active Directory only support the OpenVPN SSL only. If you try to check it SSTP, you will getting the error here. Only you are getting the error. Azure Active Directory, it won't support the any other tunnels. If you take it IKE version 2, you are getting the error. Again, IKE version 2 OpenVPN, you are getting the error. and IKE version 2 SHTP, you are getting the error. So that means Azure Active Directory only support the Open VPN SSL only it supported. It won't support the any other type of tunnel. It won't supported. Okay, that is the first point you need to understand, guys. And coming to here, what is the providing tenant ID? The tenant ID we need to provide in this format. So where we can get it this tenant ID? So here new tab, let me open the portal. Because of already we are doing the configuration, I don't want to disturb that configuration, and go to the Azure Active Directory, and from Azure Active Directory we can see the tenant ID. So you can see this is a my tenant ID. I'm copying, this is a tenant ID, and in this format only I need to provide it. HTTPS login.microsoftonline.com and our tenant ID and slash, in this format only we should provide it. In this format only we should provide it. So let me, already I capture this way, and that, I keep it into the one document like that, notepad. So you can, 1 minute, notepad, just to, so you can see one of my tenant ID. This is a one, guys. So I'm going to provide in this format. Copied. This is a way. I'm copied it. This is a way, and go to the Azure portal and provide the this one. And check mark I'm getting. And audience ID. Audience ID, this audience ID, Azure public cloud, entire any organization, any company, anyone, if you are using Point-to-Site, Azure virtual network gateway, and configuring the authentication type Azure Active Directory, audience ID is the same. Audience ID is a same anywhere, any place, any country. It's a Azure public cloud. If you are using, audience ID is a same to everyone. This is the same audience ID. If you given some different audience ID, it won't work, guys. It won't work. This is a common to everyone. It's a Azure public cloud. Azure public cloud. It's a common. So you should provide the, this is a common audience ID. We need to provide it. Where I get it, this audience ID. This audience ID available under Azure Microsoft documentation. Microsoft Azure documentation is available. I can show you later on. Let's wait few seconds. Okay. And after that, issuer. Issuer means like Azure Active Directory authentication, it's going to happen. That is a issuer. So issuer means that Azure Active Directory, how it works, authentication token base. It's a token base, it will work. So this token base, how it works, it's a totally, whenever you provide the user ID and password, let me show you image diagram wise, you will get the more clarity. So just a minute. So go to the Google, and there is a secure socket token, that is a called Azure AD STS. Okay, and that is a token. So images, if you go to, and you can see this is a token, how it works. Okay, so here SAML trust, this is a one. It's a even we can integrate the our Azure Active Directory to AWS also, anywhere, any place we can integrate it. That's not a problem. But our main agenda is, it's a whenever from individual laptop or desktop, any place, anything, any server, whenever you are trying to log in, that is a token based means totally first request, like this is a way you can see here. What will happen, it's a global administrator sign in. No, this is different, not this is a one. I don't want Azure STS secure token service. 1 minute. This is how secure player .asp.net provided by, so provided by Azure Active Directory. Okay, securing function app Azure Active Directory. No, totally. This is also will helpful. Okay, whenever end user is providing the user credentials, that request go to the Azure Active Directory. That request go to the Azure Active Directory. That Azure Active Directory client credentials, it's a valid or not. It's going to check it. So how it will check it? Where it's a you are giving the web client something like you are trying to access the web application. Yes, if it is a trying to access the web application, that user credentials first it will go to the Azure Active Directory. Is a valid or not? It will check it. If it is a valid token, the client credentials is a valid only. It will give the written token. It will give the one token here. You can see access token. It will provide to the web application. Once is a web application, it get the token. Using that token, it will try to connect to the that web application. It will try to connect with the web server. That web server again, user access attestation and service credentials is a valid or not, and it's going to check it. That token is a valid or not, it's going to check it. What web server getting the token, it will try to check with the again Azure Active Directory. Azure Active Directory access token again it will provide. Okay, both the things it's a match. Yes, he can able to access the token using that services. That services he can able to access it. Understood everyone what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So generally, developers implement how to integrate it, how they will do it. It's a entirely they will going to do like they need to understand this scenario. Okay, how to secure token will work. They knows very well. Otherwise, they can't able to develop their application. Okay, so this level it's not required as a Azure administrator. As a Azure administrator, it's not required this much. But as a architect level, you should familiar how is the secure token works. As a architect, you should familiar how secure token service works. So totally like this way it will work, guys. Understood everyone? Any questions on this?
Nothing.
So whenever we are providing the thing, and in case of the token is wrong or something is a token is expire, token is a expire, your service is a immediately termination the correction. How much time that token needs to be valid? It's a, sometimes you can see some application ideally if you are not using 5 to 10 minutes also, that is automatically application log out. Yes, did you observe anytime some applications it's if you are not login still ideally it's nobody
Yes,
accessing,
yes.
even automatically expect the that a web application service that communication it will broken. So that means that developer will develop like that way. That secure token how much time needs to be, if it is something ideally is available, immediately it will expire the token and it won't allow to access it. That way they define it. Okay, so these are all those things developer will perform it. But just as a for your information, guys. So that level of deep I'm providing. Try to understand. So this is a important when you are working with the developers, how they are integrating, how this secure token it works. It's a very important information this is about. Okay. That's the reason cloud developers means they should familiar these all those things, how it works and how to they need to integrate it, how that secure token is a front end and back end integrated, how same token needs to be access the application, how to provide the same services to the that particular end user. These are all those things they will look into that. They will develop accordingly that API application program interface wise they will integrate it, these all those things. Okay. So hopefully everyone got it. Go to Azure Active
Chirangana,
Directory. Yeah.
usually AD, Azure AD will generate the tokens.
Yes. Azure AD, it will generate the token. Whenever you try to log in, suppose you given the your credentials, and if first the request go to the checking with the Azure Active Directory. Yes. Once is a valid user ID and password, it will generate one token. Okay. That token it's going to provide to the that web server. That web server is going to check it with the Azure Active Directory. It's a valid token or not. It's again Azure Active Directory is a confirm. Yes, I generated this token. This is a one like that. It will provide to the web server. Web server understand. Okay, it's a valid and authenticated trusted user like that. It will give the information so that that web server will provide the services to the end user. Otherwise, it won't provide it. Okay.
Yeah.
So that is here we need to provide our tenant ID with the STS dot like that. So for this, I already notepad in the mention how we need to provide it. You can see here in this format we need to provide it. So sts.windows.net. STS means secure token services.windows.net and our tenant ID. That means our Azure Active Directory needs to be provide the thing authentication authorization. That's the reason we are providing the totally like this way. Okay. So issuer also I am providing. Understood everyone how I provide these values?
Yes, sir.
So any questions, let me know. Okay, coming to now question is, okay, we are providing the details, but how my Azure Active Directory understand this application is registered with the Azure Active Directory? What I'm asking, understand? So what I'm saying, this is a my point-to-site application. Yes, Azure VPN gateway. What I'm saying, if you are trying to connect this Azure Virtual Network Gateway, end user, this is a laptop, end user trying to connect it from their laptop. Before going to log in, what I'm saying, Azure Active Directory. This is a Azure Active Directory. That credentials it will go to validate here. Validate here. Okay, validation pass and get the token. The token again, this laptop that my web browser or my application will get it. My Azure VPN client application will get the that access token. That access token will provide to the this Azure VPN virtual network gateway. But this Azure VPN gateway needs to be communicate with the Azure Active Directory. The token is valid or not and get the token. Yes. How it will integrate this Azure VPN to this Azure Active Directory? But we are providing the details where needs to be valid that user ID and password we are providing in this configuration. But this VPN we are not integrate with the Azure Active Directory. Yes. Understood what I'm saying? This point.
Yes,
We are
Kiran.
providing the tenant ID, right?
Here tenant ID means what I'm saying when I'm trying to connect it. This is my tenant ID. You need to connect with the Azure Active Directory. Azure Active Directory validated providing the token. But again, my VPN needs to be getted the that valid token or not needs to be validated. Yes.
Yes, Kiran. It should be validated.
It should be validated. That means my Azure VPN virtual network gateway to Azure Active Directory we need to integrate it. Otherwise it won't work. Only this configuration it won't work. This is the only configuration if you think it won't work. So what should we do? So here my Azure virtual network gateway, this point to site one needs to be registered with the my Azure Active Directory. Registration I need to do it. This application needs to be registered with the Azure Active Directory so that Azure Active Directory understand, okay, this is a my trusted application. This is a my trusted application. Understood what I'm saying? Everyone? Any questions up to now?
No, Kiran.
So now how to integrate it with the Azure Active Directory, I'm going to show you that part. Here you can see grant administrator concept uh, and for Azure VPN client application, Azure VPN client application. So right click on that, copy the link, and I copy the link and just save it and go to the incognito window and provide that URL. And it will ask the user ID and password. That user ID and password have privileges of app registration or global administrator privileges. Once you provide your privileges, user ID and password, and it's going to register under Azure Active Directory. I can show you it's already registered. That's the reason I'm not showing here. And once is a registered and go to the Azure Active Directory and check it. My Azure VPN is a client. My Azure VPN is a registered with the Azure Active Directory. as a enterprise application wise is a registered. Actually in your subscription you can check it, it won't register. This Azure VPN, it won't register. But in my scenario already I registered, that's the reason it's showing like that, it's a registered. It should be registered here. If it is not registered here means, if you are trying to like configure from individual laptops, from that if it is a Azure VPN client is a through that it's a connecting, it won't work, it won't work. So must and should, this point everyone will forget. This point everyone will forget. This point is a very important, guys. This point is a very important, and that should be registered with the Azure Active Directory. Understood, everyone? So how to register? Right click on this, get the copy the link and open that link in incognito window and provide the user ID and password. And after that, it will show you some pop-up message and you need to click on as something like automatically it's going to register with the Azure Active Directory. It's automatically going to register with the Azure Active Directory. Understood, everyone?
Yeah,
Any
actually,
questions? Yep.
Kiran, which credentials?
You should have that person have Azure Active Directory credentials. That means its a role is a global administrator or enterprise application registration related credentials is privileges is required.
Okay, sir, got it, got it.
Okay, app registration related privileges is required. So generally, if you go to the rules, you can see there is a the app registration, application registration related some roles should be there. Or global administrator, application administrator. This person also can able to register. You can see app registration and enterprise apps. Okay. Such privileges is required. Or application developer can create a application registrations independent of the user can register application settings. Like some privileges, minimum these privileges, or global administrator is a top level admin, he can do also. Okay. So this is a totally configuration, guys. We need to do the point to site related totally. Okay. So hopefully everyone clear. Now we'll try to test it. Before going to test it, this configuration, save the virtual network gateway. Okay, it's configuration done. And okay, let's go to the virtual network gateway and go to the here point to site configuration. That configuration done, and now you can see here you can able to see the download VPN client. That what we given the configuration, everything is a as a XML file. It will one XML configuration file, it's a created and we need to download it. Okay, let's wait for a few seconds, it will automatically download it. Just a few seconds. Yes, now it's a downloaded. Go to that particular where it's a downloaded. In my downloads, extract here, extract all, and extract, and here, and Azure VPN. And this is a XML configuration file is a very important for us. So in my desktop, Azure VPN client is open. In my desktop Azure VPN client, it's already installed it, already said no Microsoft Store. Using that we can install the Azure VPN client application in our laptop or desktop. This is a previously starting I shown you. This is a one open, and left side so below left side it's a plus mark is available. You can see below left side plus mark is available, and click on import, and it's coming to this place. Go to the downloads and VPN, Azure VPN, and Azure VPN config.xml file. Click on that XML file, click on open, and you can see all the details which VNet and tenant ID, audience ID, issuer, and everything it's showing, and save it. Click on OK. Secondary profile second selected as a none. OK. So high availability is not available. It's showing. OK. So no problem. It's a now it's a configuration file integrated with my Azure VPN client. Once is a integrated done, click on connect. Once is a click on connect, it will ask the user ID and password. So I should provide the my Azure Active Directory. My Azure Active Directory is a learnwithatechie.com. So I can click on that relevant user ID and password and click on continue. And it's going to ask the user ID and password. That password I'm going to provide it here. Let me provide it. Right password. This is not, I forget the. Okay, right password I given. Now it's a authenticator app wise MFA, multi-factor authentication. It's a additional approvers. Like nowadays companies, how we are connecting and multi-factor authentication. Same like here, multi-factor authentication also. I got the notification in my authenticator app. I provided. So now it's a connected. Now it's a connected the Azure VPN client. So you can see what I got the IP address, VPN IP address 172.16.0.2. What I given the in address pool range, that IP address, I got it. One IP address, it's allocated to my desktop or my laptop. Yes, got it, guys, what I'm saying? And show the statistics and how much byte in, bytes out, and how much traffic is going. And it's a, you can see status log. If it is any error, what is the error message also, it will show you. Everything is a successfully connected. That all the error logs we can able to see it. If it is somebody is not able to connect it, what exactly error, it will show you here. Based on that we can understand. Okay, so that is a another thing. And now coming to in Azure platform for testing purpose, I hope we deploy the one virtual machine. Go to that particular virtual machine, it's available. It's a running state. Okay, good. And let me, this virtual machine, it's a, what is the private IP address? Let me 10.0.0.4. Generally over the internet, we can't connect this virtual machine. Yes, is it right? From my
Yes, Kiran.
desktop, I open the MSTSC 10.0.0.4 and provide it. And now it's asking the credentials. I can able to log in that server via point-to-site VPN. Point-to-site VPN, through that I can able to connect this server. I can able to access this server. Got it, guys? Everyone? So this is the end-to-end how to configure the point-to-site. Testing also done. Hopefully is clear to everyone what I'm saying. If I'm going to disconnect it, my server, what I'm trying to log in that server also, it's going to disconnect it because of VPN. It's not available, and automatically this is also disconnected. Yes.
Right.
So disconnected. Now it's a disconnected. Go to this server. Now it's you can see it's a disconnected. Okay. So I can remove the file like this. Just removing. I don't require. So that practical end to end I shown you here. I hope is clear to everyone how to do it. Point-to-site configuration totally end to end. If any questions, any doubts, let me know, guys.
If you need to practice Linux environment, do you require license?
Yeah, you can do it. If it is instead of Windows server, you can deploy Linux server and you can test it. That Linux server you can able to access or not, you can test it. That's not a problem. Even you are talking about Linux server, this VPN client installation from that testing like that you are talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can do it. That's not a problem. For Linux server, where you can download this Azure VPN client means just go to the over the internet, Azure VPN client, download Linux. Suppose it's a Linux, you can mention, and you can see how to connect the clearly given. And from this place, you can download it. That particular, okay, these are something articles. Okay, just a minute. And I need to client download for Ubuntu, suppose example. Let me check it. So here some GitHub repository that should be available. and might be. So you can see here articles point to site, generate the certificate or something, install the where is something like differently. It's a Linux platform, but we can able to. But let me check it where it's a downloaded. That is a download for Mac OS also is the available. Same like it's a 1 minute. SSL VPN client download Azure VPN client download for Linux Ubuntu somewhere. I never tested, but it's a yes, we can do it. That's not a problem. It's a supporting. That's create a generate the certificate. This is a one no, and you will need to configure Azure VPN, and you'll need Open VPN and client. I think this is a document somewhere. Okay, so here Azure Active Directory. Okay, Linux they are not given. For Mac OS they're given. Okay, they given the Mac OS. You can able to download it, and they provided the this one. But Linux platform they are not given. Yeah, they are not given the Linux, but they mentioned the Linux previously. Configure the point-to-site clients and certificate authentication with the Linux. Certificate-based authentication Linux they given, but it's a Azure Active Directory authentication wise it's not given. Okay, but Mac OS wise you can able to connect it. They are saying that it's a certificate based wise only you can able to connect the Linux at Linux platform. Okay. I never tested, I never check it, but it's now I got the clarity. So that means certificate based only you can able to, otherwise we can't. Okay. So any more questions?
Kiran, I have one question.
Hmm.
Kiran, as you said that when we try to connect the Azure VPN from your local desktop,
Hmm.
you need to have the global administration permission or application owner.
No. Why is it required? So like it's a Azure VPN for connecting, you don't require the any global administrator, any other things is not required. You should have privileges of Azure VPN privileges, Azure VPN connection privileges. Site point to site is a connecting, that privileges is required. That's it.
What type of privilege that you say that?
That means just your user ID and password, and it's that VPN you can able to connect it. I hope.
So the user ID and password or a VPN user ID and password or a
Yes,
AD.
it's a AD related. I'm talking about, not a VPN related. AD related. I'm talking about.
so what is the difference though? If you have AD related credentials and what are the local credentials? What is the difference?
Local credentials. Where is it using? VPN is not using any local credentials. Yes.
Ah,
Where we given anything is the local credentials in VPN configuration wise.
no.
So it's a why you like come with the local credentials. You should provide the integrate with the Azure Active Directory, so that user
Yes.
should be available in Azure Active Directory. Yes.
Yes.
So whenever you are trying to connect it, this Azure VPN point to site, that user ID and password should be available in Azure Active Directory.
Okay.
Otherwise, he can't able to log in. Yes.
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 Very simple.
Okay.
But that particular configuration file is required. If it is a suppose you are end user, you don't know this configuration, you can't able to configure in your laptop client application. You can't able to connect it if you have user ID and password also. Yes.
Yes.
That configuration needs to be configured in Azure VPN client application needs to be configured. That's it. And if you are valid user ID and password in particular tenant, yes, you can able to connect this point to site.
Okay.
Got it?
Yeah.
Kiran, I got it. Kiran, one more, you
Mm,
just, client just access the virtual machine, right?
mm.
So the client has an access to that virtual machine or blind directly just
Yeah,
getting connected.
without access, how he will connect it?
Yes, that's why I'm getting.
Like OS level, it's he should have privileges. Yes.
Yes,
So
like
he don't have privileges that one. He can't able to connect that particular virtual machine.
yes. In virtual machine, did you mention him like as a user he can access like that?
So like one thing that virtual machine not domain join with the local credentials only is available that virtual machine. Yes.
Yes, yes.
So I have local credentials. I try to log in with the local credentials only here.
Okay. Like if it is a domain join,
If it
then
is a
we
domain
have.
join means that particular user have privileges under OS level as a remote desktop user or as a administrator like that privileges is required.
Yes. So we have to mention that user in that virtual machine that he can able to access this, right? If it is a
Yeah,
domain join.
yes.
Thank you, Kiran.
Otherwise, without access, how he can able to access the virtual machine or any other services?
Yeah, that's the thing I'm thinking. How he like if it is a domain join, then how the user can get, we have to mention in that virtual machine, like in
You
properties
have to
or in
mention is a voice level. You have to mention is a voice level. Voice level privileges he required. Try
okay.
to understand, guys. Here, two things is a you need to understand. If it is a directly MSTSC RDP using that, I'm doing that protocol. Okay, in my desktop, open that MSTSC and providing the here that server name or IP address. Click on connect. It will ask the user ID and password only. Once is a valid user ID and password it, I can able to connect this server. Yes, that is the
Yes.
one thing. If you are talking about virtual machine access means it's a Azure portal level. This virtual machine RBAC role, that role is again different. Okay. If suppose example as a I'm admin, okay, I'm deploying
Yes.
this virtual machine. After deploying the virtual machine, I have privileges of owner or contributor role, whatever it may be. That means virtual machine level, I can reboot, I can stop it, I can add, attach the disk, I can do the anything in the virtual machine level. But OS level, I don't have privileges. I can't able to log in the server. Try to understand. There are two things. High level, you have privileges for high level performing, but OS level performing, you require the OS level privileges also. Okay, got it? What I'm saying?
Kiran, one second, Kiran. Sorry.
Okay, what I am saying, this is a virtual machine.
Yes,
This
Kiran.
virtual machine, I want to perform it like is a virtual machine level. I want to attach the one more network interface card, one more disk, or detach the disk, or resizing the virtual machine. In the portal level, I require the privileges.
Yes.
That is a RBAC roles. Azure Active
Okay.
Directory or normally Azure subscription related RBAC roles is a required role based access control like owner, contributor, or something
Yeah.
virtual machine administrator login. These privileges is required. Okay,
Yes.
but suppose something I want to install this application, some application in the OS level. What should I do? I need to log in this server, and after that log in the OS level. After that only I can install the application. Yes.
Yes.
If I don't have privileges in the OS level, how can I log in?
Got it, Kiran.
So virtual machine credentials like means Azure portal level RBAC roles is a different, and OS level privileges is a again different. Try to understand.
So we
Don't
don't
confuse
give
it.
it. Yes. Yes, I got it, Kiran. Like we don't provide any OS level authentication like to someone, right? If he has a proper
Yes,
ID
if it is a
or name.
like if it is a OS level, if you have privileges, you can provide the access to anyone. You yourself only don't have privileges. How can you will provide to someone?
Yes, got it, Kiran.
First of all, you need to log in. You don't have privileges. How you will provide it to someone? Yes.
Yes, Kiran.
So that's the reason it's people is a confuse on this. Like if you are a VMware administrator, very simple. In VMware is a vCenter you can connect it, you can deploy the virtual machine. That virtual machine OS level domain join, but you don't have privileges to log in that server. That OS level means you can't able to, but still you don't have OS level privileges. You can able to perform it, start, reboot or shut down, and attach the disk, attach the CPU increase, memory increase it, network interface card. You can attach it. Those things you can able to do it. Yes, is it right?
Yes, Kiran.
Same like try to understand here. Very simple, man. Very best example. Suppose your laptop is available and I don't have login to your laptop. OS level logins I don't have. But can I able to do your laptop like something? It's a additional one more RAM, physical RAM. Can I attach it or not?
No.
I can't attach it. One more RAM in the physically in your laptop.
Yes, you can. You can.
But OS level I don't have privileges. That's the reason I can't able to log in. That's it. But remaining everything laptop related, I can able to perform it. Same like Azure portal level means you can think this is a hardware level. OS level means really OS level you can able to log in or not. Okay. Generalize the things you can understand easily. Any questions?
So, last question, like audience ID, that is you said that is globally for same.
Yes,
So
correct. Let me show you.
where we can,
So if you go to the Azure VPN Point-to-Site P2S, um, 1 minute. This is a one documentation in this. Yes, you can see here audience ID, enterprise, Azure public cloud. Totally, this is a one. Anywhere. If it is a Azure government, Azure Germany, Azure China, Azure government means US government related. This is a one. If it is a Azure US, Azure cloud US, especially US government have separate cloud in Azure platform. Okay, it's a dedicated their country only. Same like Germany also they dedicated Azure platform. Even China also they dedicated their own Azure platform. In that place if you are doing that audience ID is a different. Azure public cloud generally all companies will use it. This audience is different. Okay, got it. In this documentation it's available how to provide it. Even you can see Azure public cloud AD how you need to provide it. And here secure token, it's a you can see how we should provide it. Okay, so even if you go to the above and Azure Active Directory should be registered like this, it's showing. Yes. So how to register? They given the some URL here. So you can see next grant administrator admin contest for your organization. This allow your VPN application read user profile, copy paste URL and your deployment location address of the browser. And here you can see what they are saying that global administrator role is required for register this application. Sign in Azure portal as a user is assigned the global administrator profile. Authorize the application. Authorize the application. So this is a must and should needs to be registered. Understood? Totally document is available. You can refer this document anytime. It's a very helpful to you. Any more questions?
okay, I'm good.
Okay, great. If no questions, no doubts means thank you everyone. Have a nice day. We'll connect tomorrow and we'll discuss about site to site VPN. Okay. We'll see the practical about site to site VPN.